Everything explained in this video is summarized from the CoinMarketCap. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for future XRP news and some other cryptocurrency news in general. Now take a look at this. SEC gains new support in its appeal against Ripple. Better Markets, a non-profit group that aims to help Americans achieve a secure living, has submitted an amicus brief in favor of the SEC in the Ripple action. Yesterday, the corporation submitted its brief to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Better Markets criticized the district court's ruling in the Ripple case, especially the court's conclusion regarding programmatic sales of XRP, according to the brief. XRP has submitted an amicus brief in support of the SEC. James K. Fallon, January 22, 2025. The arguments made by Better Markets. In the brief, the business pointed out three main reasons why it thought Judge Analisa Torres made a mistake in her decision. To begin with, FINRA classified XRP as a security, stressing that the fact that investors buy the coin on trading platforms does not change these features. The nonprofit organization claimed that these acquisitions fulfill the third prong of the Howey test, which is the expectation of benefit based on the labor of others. In addition, Better Markets argued that Judge Torres's judgment is inconsistent with the Supreme Court's Howey precedent and rulings from other courts. In addition, Better Markets criticized the district court for failing to consider the economic reality surrounding the offer and sale of XRP. Specifically, the business argued that Judge Torres did not demonstrate a connection between Ripple's actions and investors' expectations regarding earnings. The company made a point of criticizing the court for failing to evaluate current investors in an unbiased manner. It further claimed that Ripple was taking advantage of retail investors by trying to profit from their expectations of making money based on its actions. Finally, Better Markets criticized the district court for failing to consider the potential harm investors could experience if some cryptocurrencies classified as securities were not regulated. Better Markets claims that the district court judgment protects sophisticated investors while leaving regular traders exposed. Better Markets has been assisting the SEC in its legal battle against Ripple, which is worth mentioning. Dennis Kelleher, the CEO of the company, suggested last year that the SEC has a 90% probability of winning the case against Ripple. Attorney Hogan's response. At the same time, Jeremy Hogan, a legal expert who supports XRP, responded to Better Markets' amicus brief in the SEC versus Ripple dispute. Attorney Hogan expressed disappointment that it was hard to comprehend Better Markets' amicus brief because the corporation had misinterpreted the finding of the district court. Attorney Hogan stated that Judge Torres ruled that Ripple's programmatic sales on digital exchanges were carried out through blind bid-ask transactions. As a result, investors would not have been able to determine whether their payments were sent to Ripple or other XRP vendors. He pointed out that Ripple won the verdict on programmatic sales of XRP since the investors did not know who they were buying the coin from. Consequently, they could not have depended on the company's attempts to generate profits. In addition, Attorney Hogan criticized Better Markets for not addressing the reasoning of the district court, instead of blaming the entire outcome. Future developments. Ripple is anticipated to react to the SEC opening brief, which was issued on January 15, 2025 in the meantime. Hogan and other legal experts think that the Second Circuit will not decide on the appeal. They believe that the new leadership of the SEC may choose to abandon the action. After the SEC planned its first confidential meeting with acting head Mark Uyeda, conversations regarding a possible settlement of the matter increased significantly. The meeting is anticipated to take place. The agenda will focus on resolving legal claims and settling injunctive actions. A significant step has taken place in the ongoing legal struggle between Ripple and the SEC. Better Markets, a non-profit organization, has submitted an amicus brief in support of the SEC for perspective. The SEC has appealed the ruling reached in 2023, claiming that Judge Torres made mistakes when he decided that some sales of XRP on digital asset exchanges were not securities. In short, the SEC thinks that the judge made a mistake when he determined that these programmatic sales of XRP were not securities. The SEC contends that these sales ought to have been classified as securities since they were carried out through exchanges, even though the buyers did not purchase directly from Ripple. Attorney Jeremy Hogan posted on social media that the amicus brief from Better Markets appears to have a misunderstanding of the finding made by the trial judge. The judge did not rule that XRP sales on exchanges were not securities because the buyers did not buy them directly from Ripple. The judge determined that these transactions were deals, which means that buyers did not know whether they were purchasing from Ripple or a different vendor. This meant that the buyers could not depend on Ripple to raise the price, which was a major consideration in the judge ruling. Hogan was frustrated that Better Markets did not explicitly address the main question of how the court applied the facts to the statute. The brief, on the other hand, claimed that the decision was incorrect without addressing the logical rationale that led to it. Better Markets also argued that if the verdict were to remain in place, the SEC would not be able to safeguard investors. However, Hogan did not agree with this point. What is an amicus brief? An amicus brief, which is short for amicus curiae brief, is a document that is filed in a court case by someone who is not directly involved in the case, but wants to contribute extra information or arguments that may aid the court in making its judgment. The term amicus curiae means friend of the court. It refers to a person or group that submits a brief to the court to provide their knowledge or perspective to help the court comprehend the broader issues or consequences of the case. Abdullah Nassif, a crypto podcaster, recently commented on what the price of XRP may be if the SEC lawsuit against Ripple had never occurred. It is worth mentioning that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) sued Ripple in December 2020, 4 years ago, for supposedly selling unregistered securities in XRP coins. XRP was trading at 65 cents 1 week before the lawsuit. However, after the lawsuit was announced on December 22, 2020, the price of XRP dropped. In particular, it dropped by more than 50%, falling to 22 cents the next day. The price drop continued to get worse in the days that followed, reaching a low of 17 cents. According to CoinMarketCap data, this was the lowest price XRP ever achieved after the SEC case was filed. From this point onward, the asset made a recovery, but the price stayed inside a narrow band of 3 to 5 cents. It is worth mentioning that the legal event caused XRP price to decline by 73% from its pre-lawsuit peak of 65 cents in December 2020 to its lowest point of 17 cents on December 29, 2020. To provide some context, an investor who owned $100,000 in XRP saw their portfolio decrease to $26,756. Today, after XRP won the SEC lawsuit, the token is trading at $3. This represents a significant recovery of 1,338% from the lawsuit-induced low of $17.